This week, I'll lead you through a morning yoga stretch. This is a gentle practice where we slowly get the body moving and stretch out the legs, the back, the shoulders before the day ahead. Let's get started. We don't need any props for this practice, just your mat or any kind of practice space where you have some room to move around. Then we're going to start from lying down. So maybe you just rolled out of the bed. You can roll straight onto your mat and just take a moment to bring yourself into your practice space. You could leave your knees bent, maybe have the knees leaning against each other as we take a few slightly deeper and bigger breaths here, just waking up the breath. So inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth a couple of times. You can exaggerate that breath just slightly, allowing your chest, your ribs, your belly to move. That might be our first stretch this morning. Take one more deeper, bigger breath in and out. If there's any tightness around the ribs, that breath might start to release some of the tension. And then just let your breath relax. And we're going to start moving with a few windshield wipers. So with your knees bent, leave a little gap there between the feet. You could open now arms out to the sides into some kind of a cactus shape, palms facing up towards the ceiling if that feels okay. And then start to swing the knees from side to side, allowing your pelvis to rock from side to side, allowing your hips to move, inviting some twisting into the spine. Let's do a couple more swings. Keep the shoulders, keep the neck soft. And then bring your legs to center and leave your feet about hip-width apart. Bring arms down next to your sides. We'll go into a bridge pose. So feet in a place where you can press them down. Inhale, and as you exhale, press down through the feet so you can lift your pelvis, lift your back off the mat, and you can keep your arms down where they are, kind of next to your sides, or if you want, you might bring hands together under the pelvis, walk shoulder blades closer together and interlock fingers. That might help to open the chest a bit more. But just be mindful with your neck. So don't push too much onto the neck. Keep a bit more weight on your feet. Backs of the shoulders pressing down. So we're not pushing the neck down. And just take another breath here, in and out. We're opening through the front line. Feel your feet grounding. And then exhale, slowly release the back, the arms, the pelvis down. And now hug your knees in towards the chest, towards the belly. If you want, you can lift your forehead towards the knees and reach hands to your feet. So holding your feet, really curling into a little ball. Pelvis might come off the mat as well. And then slowly release your head down. And now extend your left leg down. Hold on to your right knee. And hold your right knee with the right hand. Do a few circles with that right leg. Just gently moving the hip. Left hand can rest on the left hip. So we're trying to invite movement just to that right hip, finding that circling motion. And then change your left hand to your right knee And as you inhale, exhale, we go into a full twist. Slowly, gently guiding the right leg out to the left side of the mat. And you could open the right arm back into that loose cactus shape. Or you might even extend the right arm out to the side. And a few breaths in this twist. You might feel some opening across the chest, the right shoulder, that twisting through the spine. Maybe some stretching on the outside of that right hip, the right thigh. Take another breath here, in and out. And then slowly come back onto your back. Bring that right knee in. And then bring both knees back in towards the chest. And now turn your knees out to the sides. Reach hands to your feet, ankles or backs of the knees. And then as you inhale, see if you could lift your feet up towards the ceiling. Happy baby. Pelvis can roll off the mat, so you can round your back here quite a lot if you want. And just rock a bit from side to side. The other option would be to really focus on grounding the pelvis and lower back onto the mat. That might send the stretch more into your legs, the hip area. So see what area you feel is needed to open. The back side of the legs can feel very tight in the morning, so be gentle here. You can always bend the legs back in. Send one more breath down towards the pelvis. And then slowly bring the feet down, close the hips, and now extend your right leg down. Hold on to your left knee, maybe it's the left hand on the left knee. And again, we start to circle the left hip. Right hand could stay on the right hip or the kind of the front of the pelvis, just grounding that right side of the pelvis to stay down. We might be waking up the core here as well a little bit. Let's do another circle. And then we're going to bring the right hand onto the left knee, left thigh, and inhale, exhale into that twist on the other side. And now we could open your left arm into that kind of a loose cactus shape, or you might even extend the left arm all the way out to the side. But now allowing that whole left side body to open, allowing that twist in the spine. And there's more twisting in the mid and upper spine. There's almost no twisting from the lower spine, so don't force the lower back. Allow the whole pelvis to kind of roll towards the right side. Take another deeper breath in and out. And then we're going to roll down onto the belly, so you can let the left leg guide you onto your belly. You might find yourself off the mat, then just wiggle your way back onto the mat. And from here, we're going to lift ourselves onto hands and knees, onto all fours. And you have options for cat-cows to keep your hands as they are, fingers pointing away from the knees. Or if you want, you can turn your fingers towards the knees. That might give a bigger stretch on the inside of your arms and inside of the wrists. But see how it feels. Don't force your wrists. And then we'll do our cat-cows. We're going to exhale, round the back up towards the ceiling. And then with the in-breath, open the chest. Turn the tailbone up, finding a gentle back bend. Same again with the out-breath, round your back. Tuck the tail under, bring chin towards the chest. And with the in-breath, opening the front line. can send your in-breath towards the chest. A couple more times with your own breath. If you want to reverse the breath pattern, feel free to do that, as long as we breathe in and out. Let's do one more round with your own breath. Just opening the back side of the spine and then opening the chest. And then let's find a neutral spine. And if your fingers are pointing towards the knees, just release your hands. So fingers pointing away from the knees. And we're going to turn the back of the hand onto the mat. The right hand first, so turning the wrist the opposite way. Just breathe there, in and out. And then bring the right hand on the mat. Turn the back of the left hand onto the mat. Again, just allowing the wrist to stretch the opposite way. I quite like to rock the pelvis here a bit from side to side. Just a bit of movement. And then bring both palms on the mat. Open the palms, the fingers, tuck the toes under. We're going to lift into a downward dog. And here, this pose is an opening for the back side of the legs. You might pedal the feet here. There might be tension in the calves, maybe the back of the ankle, backs of the thighs. Just let yourself move through that tension. See how you feel in the shoulders. Could you open the chest gently towards the mat? Reach the pelvis away from the hands. Take another breath here, in and out. And then we're going to step the right foot forward, close to hands, and you can drop your left knee onto the mat. Bring both hands to the inside of the right foot, maybe even walk the right foot further out. And then as you exhale, you can lower pelvis just a bit further down, opening through the front of the pelvis, the thigh. Inhale, send your chest forward. And you might even look forward if that feels good. If you want, you might bring that right foot just to the outer edge of the foot, if that opening the hip feels good. Take another breath here, in and out. And then slowly bring your both knees onto the mat and round your back into child's pose. Head can come down, or you can bring hands under the head. And you can bring arms next to your legs on the mat. Or if you want an extra stretch here, bring hands together behind the pelvis, behind the back, interlock fingers, and then extend the arms away from the back. You might give a nice sensation in the shoulders. Make sure you're not collapsing on the neck, so keep some support for the neck. You might even turn your palms the opposite way, turning palms away from your back or away from your shoulders. And then if you have your arms up, just release the arms. We're going to walk the hands back overhead along the mat. Lift onto hands and knees, and then step the left foot forward into that low lunge. Again, you can bring hands on the inside of the left foot, maybe walk the left foot out, maybe even roll onto the outer edge of the foot. And then lower the pelvis just a bit further down. And as you inhale, gently try to pull the chest forward. So there's a bit of an activation going on through the upper back, trying to open across the chest. Opening through the whole front line and breathing. See where can you find some space for the breaths. Neck is free. Take one more breath here, in and out. And then slowly release the pose. Bring both knees behind you. Tuck the toes under. Lift into a downward facing dog. And this time, focus on releasing the neck, really dropping the heavy head down. Knees could be bent, opening across the chest. Take a breath here, in and out. And then we're going to once more step the right foot forward. This time we're going to go into a half side squat. So now we start to turn towards the long side of the mat. And then see if we could lower the pelvis a bit further down. You could keep your hands on the mat. You can even lean onto your hands. But trying to keep the right hip rotated open. Finding some stretch on the inside of the left leg. Maybe inside of the right leg. And you can adjust where that left foot is. So try not to hurt in the knee. So if you feel that there's too stretch in the knee, then maybe move the foot further forward towards the long side of the mat. And take a couple more breaths here, in and out. If it feels good for you, you can always release the hands off the mat. For me, it's a bit too intense this morning, so I'll keep my hands down. And then we're going to travel to the other side. So now, as you inhale, lift your pelvis up and then move to the other side. So now bending the left knee, opening the right leg out to the side. And it might be that the shape on this side is different. I definitely feel that I need to open my hands a bit wider, get a bit more support for the legs here. But really check that you still keep that left hip rotated open so we don't let the left knee sink in. So it might be helpful with that left arm to support the left leg open. And we breathe. This might be really intense, especially in the morning. Take another breath here, in and out. And then we're going to lift into a standing forward bend. So press down through the hands. Lift yourself all the way up to center. You can adjust your feet. So feet wide apart, toes turned to the long side of the mat. And then we're going to inhale, extend the back halfway up into flat back. Maybe fingertips on the mat. Exhale, fold forward. So full forward bend. If you want, you can hold elbows. Swing the upper body a bit from side to side, visiting the right leg, visiting the left leg. So full opening for the back side. Take another breath here, in and out. You can always bend the knees. And then, if you're holding your elbows, release the hands and arms down. Bend the knees quite deeply. And then inhale. Just roll the back up. Lift yourself up to standing. You can roll the shoulders. Heel toe your feet closer together. And bring hands behind the pelvis, behind the back. Interlock your fingers. And one more opening across the chest. So send your chest forward, hands together. Send your hands away from the shoulders. A mini back bend, but more of an opening for the chest. Welcoming the day ahead. You can smile. Let yourself start the day in a positive way. And then exhale, release the arms, the hands, the shoulders. You can roll the shoulders. And in your standing pose, bring hands onto your lower belly. This is our final pose. You might close your eyes and send a few breaths down to your hands on your belly. Let the breath sink down. Let yourself ground down through the feet. Allow space for your breaths. And then if you want to add a Shavasana pose here, you are more than welcome to find your way lying down in a resting pose. I'll end the practice here. So if you want to end your practice here, you can bring palms together in front of the chest. And as always, thank yourself for inviting yourself to move, to breathe, to check in with yourself this morning. And I thank you very much for joining in. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful day ahead. Namaste. Thank you.